Welcome, Carlton win. It's Pommy's review. Welcome to Pommy and Oz. I hope you're all doing really well. I don't know about you, but when Carlton get a dub, everything's brilliant. If you are new around here, please like and subscribe. It does mean the world to me. And let's get into it. So, we've just come off the back of an absolute phenomenal performance. Now, I know people are going to say that the behinds were there. It wasn't the most vintage performance. But hear me out. I'll tell you why I personally think it was really good. And hopefully you guys and girls agree with me. For me, that is the kind of game in the last 5 years that we lose, where you look at every avenue of the game and how you measure it. We battered them. We were the better side for 4 quarters. All the key stats and key indicators say Carlton were the better team. And then we'd go on to lose it. We wouldn't take the chances. We'd allow them to back in. We'd keep the door ajar all the time. And for me, what I saw last night was a team that closed the door. There was that moment where Gold Coast got a couple of goals on a run. We shut the door. And to me, that is super important just moving forward for me as a Carlton fan, that of how this side is developing. We talked a couple of weeks ago and people mocked me for saying that the only team that can beat us is ourselves. I genuinely do believe that. I believe the only team that can beat us is ourselves, because I think that game plan, that fast ball movement, the willingness to retain possession. I know a lot of people have commented on the chipping game. They didn't like it. It's a key facet of AFL now. All the sides have learned to take something off the game. We can't go hell for leather all the time. We've seen what happens when we go hell for leather all the time. People hit us on the counter. Eagles is a great example. They use that strength. A lot of the sides are turnover heavy. And it's good to know that we have that ability. And okay, it wasn't pretty at times. It was like, aesthetically, it was like watching your nana paint a pair of socks. Is that even real? Who knows? I'm excited. Analogies don't have to be good. They just have to be said. And for me, that is important, that what we're doing is we're taking something off. Sometimes you've got to take things off the game and just be like, hold on, we're knee deep in the old pig mire. Let's just calm it down. And I enjoyed that. And for me, there was a lot of moments that, for me, just looking at that game, as signs that we're developing as a side. And I don't want to use the word D anymore. I don't want to use develop. I think we're there. Like, for me personally, I would say that we are a lock for the top 10. And for me, it was always about finals this year. It was something that I was heavy on, and people were like, oh, come on, Pom, calm it down. Why should we calm it down? Like, for me, the whole reason of supporting a sporting franchise is because you want them to win. Like, I don't buy into this, the journey, watch people develop. I've got kids. If I want to watch things develop, I just go out into my front room. I want to see results. And what is great now is you're starting to see the fruits of the endeavour. And this is on the players, but more so the fans. These are the fruit. We put a lot of time into this. We went to, them GWS getting beaten by 16 blokes. And this is the fruit of our labour. We were there at the start, and now we're seeing the fruits of our labour. And get behind them, man, because that was a result. That was a result. 33 points against a side that is good. And I know a lot's been made out about 4-day breaks, but come on, these are elite sportsmen, and they're in a pickle at the moment. Like, Carlton have travelled more than Chappelle Corby in the last week. And do you know what I mean? That they're getting wins. Like, that takes it out of you. For someone that has travelled for a job and played sport, it takes it out of you. Getting on a plane, changing hotel room, it is mind-sappingly horrible, just so you know. It is the most obnoxious way of living. It sounds awesome, travelling up and down the country in hotel rooms. It ain't much crash hot, because nothing beats your warm bed and your nana's stew. Trust me, like, that is living. Rest in peace, Nana. Good stew, that. Got me thinking about it. But back to the game, I thought the ability to be contested was really good. The way to smash contests, and then we looked to get it on the outside. It reminded me very akin of Richmond 2017. Hit the contest hard, get it on the outside, get it going, get it running. And there was a little bit of a ruthless streak about Carlton this week. You could see Gold Coast, they had hit the big red bell that says Cole Mummer. And for the first time, I saw a little bit of a ruthlessness in the side. Sometimes I feel like, and this probably doesn't happen, and I'd love to know what everyone thinks, but sometimes I feel like, because And you see it in a lot of sports when a team is the whipping boys of the league, like we have been for a while. When they start to turn it around and get good, that ruthless streak isn't there because they've been through it. They've been there. They've looked into the eyes of pain and they know what it's like. And it's kind of hard sometimes for teams to go from being whipped to whipping. And it's kind of like, I've seen that a few times with Carlton this year. And this time I didn't see it. This time I saw they were looking to make a statement. Moving into Gold Coast is a tough avenue. These guys, look, only last week they played Richmond and they ran them to the ground. Richmond had to dig deep. They had to go into their collection. You know, that book we talked about that had a William Balls drawn on it? They went into their little book and page 38 was there and it was like, right, this is how we beat a team. Carlton are starting to do that now. We've erased the William Balls and we're starting to get like a nice little neat list. For me, it was really important. For me, some key standouts. I thought Plowman was exceptional against Rankine. I thought Murphy thought it was 2010. I thought Eddie Betts had some moments. He didn't quite get the snag and he didn't quite take the marks. Yeah, it was a sticky night, but it's his influence there. You could see that there was like a panic. That first goal where he's paddling the ball on the ground, you could see the panic. In their backline, it was a complete panic because they know he's capable, and that created it. I thought Gibbons was absolutely phenomenal as well this week. I thought the pressure he brings, and when you add goals to that, I know I keep saying this, you don't need Papley when you've got Gibbons, but hear me out, that is what he can bring. And for me, moving forward, this side has got a real good core. Like, we talk about building the cake, we've got a really good little jam sponge going on. Maybe a little Madeira sponge. It's good cake, that. If you haven't tried Madeira cake, get it down here. But it's there, and now we just need, like, you know, the nice marzipan layer. And whether that's a Kelly, whether that's a Papley, I don't know. But for me, this side is starting to be chiselled into some kind of Greek Adonis. You know, a la my co-host on Blue Abroad, Terry. It's starting to get there, and it's really exciting. Not to be understated, though, is Ed Curno's influence this week. And we'll go through players individually, but for me, Ed Curno, again, another spot-on game. He does the quiet things well. And let's start going through players and then we'll start talking a bit more. Well, Eddie Betts, like for me, he had 10 touches, 1 goal, 1 behind, and probably 16 moments of highlights. I mean, that whole paddling the ball round through his legs, like Harlem Globetrotter stuff, it makes you happy, doesn't it? It makes me smile. Like, just thinking about it, it makes me smile. And for me, that's something he brings. It's his aura. That sounds so weird, but it is. It's kind of his aura. You can see it just unnerves defenders. And for me, a lot of these players are building that reputation now. You don't want to play them. No longer are we Carlton nice. We're becoming a little bit ruthless, a little bit, you know, hard to beat. And dare I say it, this side is a final side. You can see it. Like, for me, this game style, and someone like Eddie Betts, Teague's game plan is made for finals. Knockout football. It reminds me of Porto when they won the Champions League under Mourinho. We just don't give anyone respect. It's just hell for leather. This is us. You come and play our game. You're going to have to beat us. We're here. And for me, in a final situation, I know I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. How exciting is it having Betts with this game plan, man? God, it's going to be good. Levi Casbolt, again, he competes super well. What I love about it is it was a tough, greasy day. Everyone was struggling to mark, and he just has the ability just to ping a mark, doesn't he? I think he's really solid. I think he straightens us out. We talk about people straightening us out. Just think Levi is that guy because he takes a mark. He's safe. He's that good target. And I thought his game was really good. I enjoyed that. He brings that physical presence as well. There was a lot of shepherding. There was a couple of times he shepherded for Gibbons to allow him to run through. And I love that. For me, it's a team effort. He sacrifices his numbers for the team. Understated. Cotters, I'm really enjoying Cotterill. I love, you know, his little mouthing off. I love a chirp. I know Teague doesn't, but to me, you've got to be chirpy sometimes. Like, honestly, you've got to let sometimes your opponent know you're winning. A lot of people have let us know we're winning. Just get him in. I love his grit. I love his determination. One thing I love about him is when someone runs past him, he never stops running to catch them. And I froth that, man. Like, I froth that because you watch that as a fan and that's how you play in your mind. Like, we probably wouldn't do, but I think all of us mentally being like, oh, if I played, I would have had 42 touches and 28 tackles. he plays like I think I'd play. And I've got a lot of time for that. So good game, Cockrell. I like what he's building into. Cripper, the boy. Tell you what, he's come under a bit of heat the last couple of weeks, and it hasn't been the great. And we're still looking for that goal. But his influence can't be understated. I mean, 400 odd metres gained, 6 tackles. He finds the pill, and he's got a bit of injection. I love that footage at the end. The Blues are back. I'm starting to believe, well, I've been believing a long time, Cripper. It's good to know that you've jumped on the Pom train with me. Believe, buddy, believe, because belief's going to get you everywhere, my friend. Good game from Cripper. I thought his influence was good. They tried to tag him. They couldn't do. I mean, the way he ragdolled Ellis when Ellis went to tackle him, and Ellis sticks his tackles, made him look complete Mickey Mouse. I loved it. Ed Kerner, this guy, how he doesn't get the plaudits that he probably deserves, it blags my head, man. Like, some trash gets some footnotes in the media, and this guy's just solid, man. 6 tackles again. You know, he's just does the hard stuff. He's the engine room. You know, and if like Cripper's the fat controller, this guy's the dude shoveling the coal in Thomas. Like, he's fantastic. 19 touches, 6 tackles again. He just does the hard work, the grit, the determination. They talk about De Boer's the best tagger in the comp. Please, mate, have a look at Ed Kerner. I mean, the guy's biceps are something a bit old. Solid game by Ed, and he just does his job, puts shifts in. And that's what's exciting about this side. There's players putting shifts in for the club. Tom De Koning, I enjoyed his game. I really did. I think, you see, I said last week, and people were like, Pom, Wits is good. I don't rate Jared Ritz. I really don't. And I think the way you beat Wits is with athletic ruckman. He's going to get his hit-outs, yeah, because he's a big oaf of a bloke. I mean, if AFL football didn't come along, he would have been opening the doors for the Adams family, man. And athletic ruckman are his kryptonite. And I thought De Koning played well. He did really well. He's exciting. He reminds me of Timmy English last year, you know, when they just plough games into him and you can see it. And all it needs is a bit of body and a bit of experience, and this kid will tear it apart. Clunk some marks, lay some tackles. His second and third efforts are exemplary. His movement, his speed, man, this is one hell of a player. He reminds me of if you put Charlie Curnow into a ruckman's body, you'd get De Koning. And he is exciting, and I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see him next week against Grundy. That I'm frothing, because that will be a great test, a great benchmark, because for me, Grundy is the best. See where this kid is, and let's back him in. We don't need to give him backup. I want to back this bloke in. Let him go one-on-one with a great one, because I reckon he'll take his fair share. Doc, I enjoyed Doc's game. Now, I know a few people have said, oh, it's gone down, but Doc just does the Doc things, doesn't he? Super exciting. He hits targets. He's clean. He runs through traffic. I love my Doc. I love it. Maybe it's the Scottish heritage of mine and we share it and I froth him and I just hope he supports the mighty Rangers. But I love what Doc does. I think it's safe, isn't it? When the ball hits the deck inside defensive 50 and Doc's around it, you know, I can hear the Carpenters singing. It's that relaxing. Love everything he does. Hits targets, just gets the ball moving, gets the chains moving. He's our Shannon Hearn, let's be honest, and I love it. And for me, decent game from him. Organises the back line well. Zachy Fisher, eh? You heard me and Terry sing, Zach Fisher, running down the wing. How good was that? He just made Lukosius look like a mug. Great game, and he's turning into quite a player. I love his zip, I love his energy. That turn of pace, you know, the Sticks Kernahan haircut, not a fan of it, but ever since he's had it, God, he's playing good footy. It's great to have him back, and it just shows that this selection policy of earning your stripes is paying off because he's hungry. You see his hunger, man. He's playing like a guy that loves this club, and I'm loving watching him. Mickey Gibbons turning into quite a player for me. Forward pressure is exemplary. When he hits the scoreboard, that's phenomenal. I mean, both him and Zach Fisher, 5 tackles for forwards is up there in the percentile of crazy. 2 goals, add that on, and we're talking Gibbons is a footballer. Looks to make things happen, gets in the right spaces. I love the fact that no one gets an easy kick out of defensive 50. I know Lukosius had a lot of the pill, and he's very dangerous, as we saw, with ball in foot. But Gibbons was just there all the time, getting near him, putting pressure. And that's what I said. He's going to get a lot of the ball, put pressure on it. And he does that well. Liam Jones, Adam Gould said he's heard rumours that Superman wears Liam Jones' pants on the outside. I'd say that's true. He's just everywhere, and his ability to spoil. I mean, Day and King look Mickey Mouse against Jones and Wheaters. And I think Jones, that's his game. You know, when Wheatering's locking their most important player down and he's got the second, it helps Jones because Jones can play loose. You know that forward's going to have to take risks to get in the game, and it allows Jones to do what he does. Understated Jones's game, and he probably won't get the plaudits he deserves. But for me, that was a really good game. He was everywhere. His fist, he's got the fist of Tyson, hasn't he? He's just there all the time. Solid work. Jackie Martin, what a footballer he is. Like, let's talk about Jackie Martin. Class, moves like silk, 4 touches, 4 tackles, 21 touches. Needed a goal. Unlucky he didn't get it. He's phenomenal. Not since, Yaz have I seen someone that just gets me excited just by seeing him. He is so exciting. If he played in snow, he wouldn't leave footprints. He's like Paul Scholes, that class. Just everything he does. Like, picking his nose, I'd watch it. This kid can play footy. We got him free, let's remember that. And Gold Coast mugged him off. What a football. Jack Martin. Love you, buddy. Love you. Harry Mackay. Goal kicking was a bit questionable, but then again, everyone looked like they'd struggled to hit a cow's arse with a banjo from a metre. 2 goals, 13 touches, 4 marks, 2 tackles, I think is... the tackles is the one thing that, the forward pressure he puts on. 8 marks and 1 tackle. It's the pressure he puts on and gets around people. I really enjoy it. His ability to mark in that weather was just phenomenal. I mean, let's be honest with Mackay. He's going to be a hell of a footballer, and you can take them 2 goals 4 because you know that one day that'll be 6 goals 1. Really enjoy it. Really enjoy it. He now he's got his fitness up. What a footballer. And for me, people are forgetting this. Add Charlie Curnow into this system, a man that can drop deep and get the ball and make things happen from out about 70 out. This team's unstoppable. You add Curnow and Mackay together in this team, forget about it, is all I'm saying. Because I'll just be going, Gil, Bubby, we made it, buddy. We made it. Mackay, great game. Murph, another one. Like, honestly, it was 2010, wasn't it? Like, 2011, Murph came back. 28 touches of the old pill. Couple of tackles in there. I really enjoyed his game. 5 clearances as well. He just steadied the ship, didn't he? And for me, he was just there all the time. Hitting targets, making the change. We had that little pirouette thing he has, thinking he's Darcy Bussell. Froth Murph, and it's great to have him back. It's great for him to have a good game. I know people are saying 67 disposal efficiency. That is in the AFL good category. If you go at 70%, 67%, you get a handshake and you get revered and you get put on like some kind of pedestal because disposals mean something, evidently. Tell you they don't, but according to the AFL they do. No one cares. But for me, 70% of 28 is a decent return. It's nearly 20 touches that hit targets. I mean, that in this game plan that's kick heavy, 70% is probably 80 if you were boring and just handballed it all the time. Great effort. Jackie Nooms, I backed you in for the last 5 weeks. You're paying it back, buddy. Honestly, still the best looking bloke in the AFL for me. Honestly, body-wise, bro. Killing it. And now game plan, killing it, loving his game, took his goal well. He's now gone up a level, and because you guys are now starting to believe in him, oh, what a player. I love Jack Nooms. Just everything about him, his grit, his determination. He reminds me of Jed Lambert can play footy. I like that. That's a good analogy, that. Take that one. You can have it. Jack Newnes, yeah, great game. And I love everything he does. He does the hard stuff and the stuff that we don't appreciate as football fans. Really enjoyed it. He's really coming on leaps and bounds. And I think the best thing that's happened to Jack Newnes was that goal. Yes, that against Freo. Really good performance from Jack. And I'm really enjoying what he brings. SPS, you see, I find it harsh because I love SPS. Like, SPS would be in my top 5 footballers. And he reminds me a little bit of Dow last year, you know, where you can start to see the confidence is going in him. And I don't know if anyone else feels that. Let me know in the comments I'm being harsh. I feel like the confidence is going. He looks now to kick sideways instead of go forward. And I don't think that's tactically, and you may disagree, but I look at the other flank and they don't. Willow goes. Willow's got a licence to roam. And SPS has probably earned more stripes than Willow for licence to roam. For me, if he's not breaking lines and he's not advancing the ball, I don't see it. I don't see it. And you're probably going to shoot me in the head for this, but I mean, personally, I'd like to see Paulson there. Every write-up this season has been his energy and his zip and his ball-carrying ability off halfback. And I just think SPS needs a break or slot him forward and give him a taste of glory. I just feel like it's a sapping role. It's a sapping role for a player of that ability. And for me, I was really excited when SPS went down to half-back flank. I thought we're going to get the Yaron back because I see a lot of Yaron in him. Classy user, looks for gaps in structure, hits them hard, hits targets hard. It was just a bit of a meh game for me. I mean, it wasn't a bad game, and like if that's his worst, that's pretty good. But I just feel like there's so much more from SPS. I feel like we're getting 60%, and I want the 70, I want the 80. I'm greedy, and I know what a talented footballer is, and I love SPS. And I feel like, I think it's just breaking my heart seeing him. I feel like there's more to it. Maybe there's something I'm missing though. Please let me know. But I enjoy his game. I just feel like there's more, and he's worth more for me as well. Worth more than what he's delivering at the moment. Pitt, it was a decent game. He was brought in to do a job in which you could argue he did. The kick out of bounds on the full, hitting a target 5 meters in front of you, blagged my head. If it did. Just checking my notes here, I was like, great selection, question mark. It was an okay game. It was a Pitt game. I still love him, and I still think he brings a lot. For me, I think structurally, though, I do prefer TDK and Casbolt. And I think when you're playing a more mobile ruckman, I struggle to make a case for Pitt at this point in time, especially this season, because you look at the games we've got ahead. Aside from GWS, is there a real big-bodied ruckman? I'd say there's an argument probably when you see Grundy's record against the younger athletic ruckman, you'd probably play him next week. But there on in, I just don't see it. I don't think you can play too many ruckman. I think Casbolt and TDK do a good job. But it was a good job, good performance. Again, his ground efforts are good. His second and third efforts are good. I love his game. And what he brings to the table, I enjoyed it. His distribution was up there with Zimbabwe in the 90s though, but apart from that, it was okay. Plowy, the ploughman, get around the block. He's so good. Like honestly, like BNF, when I next see Lockie Ploughman, I'm giving the guy the biggest hug in the world because he cops some shite, man. Like I spread it around, but this guy just gets it all the time. I loved his game. He wrapped up Isaac, didn't he? We didn't see him, and it was set up for Isaac. Won at Northern Territories against Eddie, one of his idols, Sir Doug Nicholls round. These are the games that young Indigenous players genuinely make their mark. And Ploughman pissed on his parade, so to speak, and made it all about Eddie, and quite rightly so. Great work, Ploughman. And I reckon when ranking signs for Carlton in the next couple of years, you can thank Ploughman because we saw what it's like to be Eddie Betts and how we've taken to him and how much we love him, and knows that could be him. And I'll welcome ranking when he comes to Carlton. Setterfield. Let's talk about Setterfield. For me, the most complete on-baller in the competition is Elliot Yeo. And Setterfield, for me, is becoming Elliot Yeo. go, what the hell are you on about, Pom? Have you been drinking Kool-Aid? Probably have. I see Elliot Yo in this bloke every time I see him play. He does the hard stuff, uses it well, gets it off to players that can play footy better than him and be more dynamic. And he is a threat. Love his game. Will Setterfield, more like Will Yourfield, what a player, man. Get around him, 5 tackles, 5 clearances. I mean, 23 touches. Just gets the change going. And Cripper's got that help finally. This guy is a beast. Loving his game. Oh, Cade Simpson. It was another Cade Simpson game. What you see is what you get. 263 metres gains. Ever reliable. Sammy Walsh, another fantastic performance. Sam Walsh put Gold Coast to the sword. Phenomenal performance. He is really proving where he's at and why he's a pick 1. Love his game. If Setterfield's Yo, this bloke is shoey for me. What he does, just understated, just hits targets, just gets things going. Love the combination him and Setterfield. Really enjoying that. Wheaters, another week, another key forward who questions has he made the right choice with life. Phenomenal performance. Just shut him down. Shut Ben King down. Got rid of the hype because we all know Max King's better. Well done, Wheaters, because Max King is the better footballer. Good job, bro. Love it. Love it. He's so good. I mean, he's just so reliable, isn't he? I mean, it's even when he gets himself into strife, he just gets himself out of it. I love it. And Willow, for me, Willow, again, another good performance. Willow is I'm really enjoying his game, in his tenacity. And for me, it's getting better and better and better. And now we've got continuity in his game. It's looking good. All in all, for me, phenomenal performance. I would have taken 33 points at the start of the game. Now we've got it. I'm taking it even more. Gold Coast next week. Collingwood next week. Eddie Maguire. What a mug he is. We'll smash the pies. Mickey Mouse side. Get around it. Come on, because honestly, this is what we've got to play for. Good mate of mine, Luke from Swoop Luke. I respect what he does, and for this week, we're going to be rivals. Honestly, his half-time lives, when he's had a few wines, are epic. So if we do anything this week, will the boys on? Because honestly, it'll be great scenes. Big shout out to Swoop Luke though. Best of luck, mate. I know I'm going to be a dickhead for a week to you, but I love you, buddy. Let me know in the comments who was your 3-2-1. For me, my 3-2-1 is going to be controversial this, but I'm going to go 1 vote, H. McKay, 2 votes, M. Murphy, 3 votes, Jack Martin, because I love my boy. I love him so much. Let me know your 3-2-1 though. There's no right or wrong answers, I don't think. Let's have a discussion about it. Let's get behind the Blue Boys. Until next time, have a wonderful week. I'll see you very soon. We've got the internet back, so there'll be regular content again. Peace and love to all. Pom out.